Hello, my lovies. How you doing today? Welcome to another edition of Street Talk. Today, I want to talk about the movie How They See Us. And why is that movie important when it happened in 1989 to the year 2019? Well, you see I'm walking past these canopies. You see I'm walking past these containers in the park. You see the containers where people store their stuff in the park. You also see a lot of things in this park. You see track and field. You see people fishing. You see a lot of things and a lot of different people in this park. Well, let's rewind back to 1989. We had 5 young men that was indicted on rape charges at Central Park. The oldest child was 16 years old. They were put in jail with no evidence, no DNA, no witnesses, no nothing. They all was coerced to tell a story that was not true, that they had raped this lady. They even went as far as to threaten one father and threaten his job and say if he didn't have his son, falsify a statement stating that he was there, they was going to take his job from him. So why was that movie important for today's time? Well, you see them canisters right there? You see again? Sometimes people go in there and they rob the canisters. Well, we have all people of all races, colors, religions, you name it, is in this melting pot here. One day, somebody went and opened up one of the canisters, but it was boats in there and it couldn't get in the container. 2 days later, a man come to me where I'm at with kids, because I work with kids, and he said, I found him. I got him. I got the kids who broke into my container. So we like, okay, good. We're going to call the cops. We all work together. I called the cops already. I caught them red-handed. Here go their picture. So we sitting down. We said, well, let's look at the pictures because, we also, with my group, we have a canister out here also. Honey, when I told you a man showed me the picture of these kids, and one of these kids was my son, I was livid. Now let's get into the ages of these kids. My son was 11 years old at that time. Much as me and that man work side by side and we do what we do for the youth, you would have thought that he would have remembered my son. And you would have known that he got robbed 2 days ago, so why would these young kids be at a canister? And why would you think it was them when we have all kids of all races in the same park who plays in the same spot? So he didn't know he was showing me my son, so he already called the cops. So then being that I'm like, no, that's your son? So I called my son over there. And I said to my son, what was you doing over there? We was just playing. I said, well, he caught you on a canister, on his container. He said, no, he didn't. We was over there by the container. And the man started joking with us because I knew him from when you guys worked together. He asked us to take a picture. See, that part the man didn't mention. What he said was he caught them red-handed. But in all reality, he saw 4 young black men, black boys, aged up to 11 or 12 years old. He saw them playing and accused them. Now, if the cops would have came and they didn't know that it was my son and they just was playing, what would have happened to them 11-year-olds? What would have happened to them? Well, how would they have been treated? The man said he caught them breaking into his container. He did not tell the truth at all. The man was lying. How would these kids got out of it? So what would make how they see us important? It's important because now it teaches you how to teach your children how to act and react when the authorities come to them. It makes you say to your children, if you a child, you have no business talking to adults. It makes you bring up that conversation of real life things and what can happen to you and how you deal with what happens. They had the same way in the movie. The officers had no business talking to them kids without a parent or a lawyer. These young black kids do not know that. Parents, please, you have to take time out to start educating your kids. People will lie on your children. You are not always around your children. You have to equip them on how to handle life. It's sad that was our young black boys still have to be targeted. But because I work with the man and he showed me the kids' pictures, but if the man didn't know me, my son and 3 of his friends would have been talked to by officers. Our kids would not know how to deal with that or know what to do. These same way these kids was up to 16 years old when that took place. That was the oldest child and how they see us. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy that our young boys at such a young age must learn the law. You must teach them how to talk to an officer, how to act in front of an officer, and do things so that they will not get hurt. But that story still, how they see us still resonate with today's time. It still resonates with today's time. We must teach our young boys and our young girls how to act. We must teach them how to act with each other too. We must teach them how to play with each other, not to follow the leader, and how to keep themselves out of trouble. But that doesn't take away when you are lied on. It doesn't take away when you say one thing and it's not true. If them cops would have came, the cops would have went by his story. He got pictures of his kids and he said he seen them breaking in his container. These containers right here. But in all reality, he was talking with the boys and he asked the boys for their picture. He didn't tell us that part. He didn't, as he's telling stories, he said after he told us, after he showed us the picture. So he got even us thinking, hey, we got these crooks who's breaking into the containers. But it was a lie. It was a lie. So how they see us is a very, very important movie. It resonates today in 2019. You must open dialogue with your children. You must open dialogue with your children on how they act in school. You must have open dialogue on what your kids and what their friends are doing. You must guide your kids to try to stay out of much trouble as possible. You must open dialogue and start teaching your kids the law. Us parents have to protect our children. Protecting your children means feeding them with all the information that you can feed them with, not just with food. You have to feed them on the law, how to act, conduct. That is our job as parents. So you really need to watch that movie and take some of them lessons and give them to your children. But teach your children they are not allowed to talk to authorities unless you have a parent or a lawyer. We have good cops and we have bad cops. You don't know which one you're going to get. But always be respectful. Always be respectful. You have to teach your young black men / boys this. This is just my thoughts of how they see us. Any parent can go through it. Any parent can have their children lied on. Any parent can have their child prosecuted. There are a lot of innocent people in jail because they don't know the rules and regulations and they don't know the law. Well, that's just my little take on this story because that happened in 1989. This is a story from 2017. We are now in 2019 and the same rule apply. Okay, you guys have a good day. Peace.